Well, Your Excellency, approaching 3 years now as Lieutenant Governor, how do you reflect on the role and indeed island life generally compared to perhaps what your preconceived position might naturally have been before you and Lady Lorimer arrived here?
3 years, I know, it's gone incredibly quickly, and what we love is being part of the island community. We love island life. We love we have been almost overwhelmed by the generosity of welcome, the hospitality, and that's sort of in many ways encouraged us to get more involved in as many aspects of island life as we can. I didn't realise how much we were going to enjoy being here and being part of the community.
Your natural ability and that of Lady Lorimer to embrace and get involved in the community spirit, the island's activities, events, organisations, even the most strenuous of pastimes. I'm thinking of the parish walk, which you completed. It's caught the eye of so many. Are there any, in the last 12 months, any particular standout moments?
I think the visit of the Queen, to be there when she conferred city status on Douglas was very special, and met a good number of members and volunteers for the RNLI on their 200th anniversary, their bicentenary. Other things, of course, the TT, quite special given what took place with Michael Dunlop and the Crow brothers, and Dave Molyneux's third place in his final race before he retired, which was fabulous. And the Guild. This year I did much more at the Guild this year than I've done before. What struck me there was the talent, and I thought they were great. I don't know how some of the youngsters had the courage to get out on stage and do what they did. I think the last one was probably quite recently. It was lighting the beacon. We had James Fenton, 102-year-old Burma veteran, lit the beacon in commemoration of D-Day 80th. Lots of veterans, of course, lots of others there, but to see him there still as amazingly bouncy as he is, I thought that was just great.
How important is it, though, do you think, to show ourselves to the wider world today on our National Day, that we're a nation proud of our heritage, steeped in tradition, but also a forward-looking, responsible jurisdiction on the international stage?
The traditional aspects of Tynwald Day are very important. To be linking pagan, Viking, modern day all in one ceremony, it is an extraordinary sort of traditional combination of events. But I think that's really important. We shouldn't be embarrassed or shy away from it. I think that shows what an incredible heritage and history the island has. And I must say, when I had the nerve, I suppose, to suggest we made some changes to the Tynwald ceremony, which was when I felt that the Lieutenant Governor should speak Manx. I hadn't really thought probably deeply enough about what I was suggesting in changing a ceremony that had been going for so many years, and really understanding this to get the whole event in perspective. I understood that actually this has developed over time, it has evolved over time, and given that we're trying to increase the number of Manx speakers and all of that, it seemed the right thing to do. Does the Tynwald Day support the island and the jurisdiction as a modern institution in the modern world? I think absolutely yes, because in order to know where you are now, you've got to know where you've come from. And I think it's perfect that 10 days before Tynwald Day, that the Isle of Man was chairing the British Irish Council. And we had representatives and politicians from across the British Isles here, and the island was chairing it and hosting it, and therefore playing a part in the modern world and having a view on the modern world. And I think that's entirely appropriate.
And finally, what's your message for island residents and indeed Manxies the world over, expats, wherever they may be, this Tynwald Day?
You know, we have an incredible island. We have an incredible home. We're so lucky to live on the Isle of Man. We all should, work as hard as we can to ensure that that remains the case. And I know Lady Lorimer will do everything we can to ensure people understand the relevance of the role of Lieutenant Governor, but also do everything we can to promote the interests of the island and everything that is good. And we should be really positive about what we have here. This is a fantastic place.
Thank you for your time, and I wish you and Lady Lorimer a happy Tynwald Day and indeed an enjoyable Manx National Week.
Thank you very much indeed, James.
Well, Moramai, once more, good morning and a very warm welcome to everyone here, both at St John's, in person, or indeed watching or listening wherever you are around the world. I'm James Davis and I'm delighted to be joined by Mandy Griffin this morning. Proceedings are already underway. We'll tell you more in a few moments' time. But first, let us listen to the music of Onken Silver Band. They are under the musical direction of David Caron and they are leading the Youth Parade, featuring all the schools, the students from the island's secondary schools.
So as the final members make their way off the processional way, it is also around this time where the Clerk of Tynwald, Jonathan King, will meet the petitioners at the Lidge Gate. In ancient times, Tynwald Hill positions may have been an appeal of last resort when all other remedies have failed. Today, they are simply a way of raising the profile of an issue which can then be debated by Tynwald at a later stage. There are strict rules regarding the wording of petitions. They can be, and indeed have been, rejected before for not complying with the standing orders of Tynwald. And hopefully none will fall foul of the criteria this year. A few did last year. A few repeat petitioners I noticed too.
Well, the music today, of course, very much part of the offering, and one of the world's leading military ensembles, the Band of the RAF Regiment, has long been captivating audience with its versatility under the direction of its Director of Music, Flight Lieutenant Tynwald. They recently returned from the Norwegian military tattoo in Oslo and the D-Day 80 commemoration service, and the band are very much looking forward to a busy summer season. A pinnacle, of course, includes leading the music at today's ceremony.
Formed in 1942, the band regularly supports state ceremonial occasions and international military tattoos, as well as performing concerts to raise money for service charities and providing entertainment at air shows and functions. Now based at RAF Northolt, its most notable moments include travelling to Sydney to support the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo and taking part in the 75th anniversary of D-Day in Normandy. Other highlights range from performing for the Royal British Legion's Festival of Remembrance at the Royal Albert Hall to taking part in commemorations at Westminster Abbey for the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. 2 years ago, the band was on duty performing as part of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, and then, just 3 months later, lined the route for the state funeral. It once again provided a route-lining contingent for the coronation of their Majesties King Charles and Queen Camilla in May last year.
And it is time now for the Band of the RAF Regiment to entertain us. Nothing quite like a military band, of course, to get the toes tapping, especially a top-class band, as we are fortunate to have with us today. As I say, under the Director of Music, Flight Lieutenant Tynwald, their programme throughout the morning includes compositions to indeed welcome our official guests from Norway and Italy, including in the Hall of the Mountain King by Edward Grieg and the Lady Caliph by the Italian Ennio Morricone. More on our guests later, of course. Now, though, they will begin by playing a selection of music, much of it chosen especially for today, including Ellen Vannon, the Athol Salute to Tynwald, and beginning with Spitfire Prelude.